Hey everybody. A lot of people have asked me recently how I've lost so much weight and have commented on how well I've looked, and some have even asked if my health was all right because I've lost so much weight. Well, I lost the weight by sheer mind control. I just didn't eat. And the way I put my mind to doing something is the way I accomplish everything. And especially in hunting, I just believe in myself. It's the confidence. It's the hard work ethic. It's just, I'm going to get it done. But I haven't always been this good my whole life at having great confidence and great work ethic. And it's something you build upon, and occasionally you stumble. A lot of us call it the grind. And many have been through it. Many have done the grind when it comes to hunting. They have gone out and pounded day after day after day and not gotten anything. I recently did a couple weeks in other states and had one shot opportunity and wasn't ready. It happens. It happens to the best of us. But being able to brush that stuff off and move forward is a good thing. It's what separates the men from the boys when it comes to hunting. If you can blow off those bad times, if you can work through them and keep up that mental attitude, that's what will make you succeed. Rick has recently been having that struggle. He's been going through the grind.
I am frustrated. First I fall in a creek. Then I get a landowner screaming at me. Now me and Mario went out west, and I got a squirrel hunter behind me. I'm done.
On one of the very first hunts of Rick's 2-week or more jaunt that he was hunting every day, he went out to a spot that me and him had scouted early in spring, and we had found this area that was way back, on some public land, and felt it would be good because you had to cross a creek. Well, our creek crossing, when I went across it when we were scouting, I came upon this big hole. I even called Rick over and said, "Look at this." And underground, you could see water running and stuff. And I mean, it was covered with grass. Like I could step in it. It was way down deep. And I was like, holy crap. And at the time, there's flooding. I mean, there's an underground river there. It was scary a little bit. It was like, man, I think I'm standing on hollow ground. I had to back up. Well, when Rick went out to hunt, on one of his first hunts, he followed those directions on Onyx. He went with Mario to that area, and he walked right into that hole. Fell right down there and hurt his ribs really bad. He thought his ribs were broke. He got himself out of there. It's got to be, a mile and a half back at least. He got himself out of there. He thought his ribs were broke. He had to go to the doctor. And at the emergency room, they told him that his ribs weren't broke. It was just bad bruising. And they told him not to hunt, not to do anything strenuous. His wife told him not to hunt.
Thankfully it's not fractured, but it sure feels fractured. Anyways, I'm going to go in today against a lot of people's judgment, except Dan. Dan tells me to suck it up and go in.
You don't kill him on the couch feeling sorry for you, and your ribs aren't going to get any more bruised out hunting than they are sitting on the couch. And he took my advice. But I'm sure that pain was working on him. He's had probably, I think, a 2-year dry spell. I've been watching him struggle. He's killed a few good bucks. I think when he really started to have the struggle is when it got important to him to film his kills. When it got important for him to mix the camera in there, and it's a hard mix.
I went to move my camera back, and all of a sudden, I heard him whiff a couple times. Not loud, but then he ran north. So we Saw me moving my camera arm back. No big deal. Still got time left.
He's been hunting a lot with me and Mario, and we kind of abandoned him the last few weeks. You know, I ran off to Ohio, then I ran to Indiana, and often I'm busy with some project. And Mario's a busy man too. And Rick kind of got put on his own. And I was watching him struggle. And he went into this where I'm going to do this, you know, 2 weeks straight, every day, hunt all day, hunt. And I watched the wind coming out of him. I watched him do 2-mile walks back to the back of properties.
Crap. The river, this little creek is keeping me from getting across to the other side. It doesn't look that deep, but it's butt deep in sludge. Okay, I can't cross the river up there, so I went and got a log. I brought it down where the creek is a little narrower. I'm going to try to put it across there. I'm going to get across this. Okay, here we go. I dragged this monstrosity over to the river. I'm going to drop it across. I think that'll do, pig. Made it across. My support beam there broke, so I'd make a jump for it. I got to about here, and my one boot definitely went in, got a soaker there. But for the rest of me, I'm dry. I can't say the same for when I come out. Fun, fun. Okay, I went all the way to the north end of the Conservancy. It took me quite a while to get here, but I'm on the spot. There's a swamp out front. There's massive, massive trails everywhere. Well, I finally got back to my van. That was one long walk. I'm beat, my back is pretty sore. So I got across the creek, I put a big log, it broke on me. So I got one soaker and I went all the way out there, set up, and I saw absolutely nothing. Unreal. On the way back, I broke the log again, so I got wet up to my waist.
Cross rivers, cross creeks, go through some really hard stuff.
But if we get across here, that would be awesome. There we go, full load.
And a buck would come in from behind and he wouldn't see it in time and it would run off before he'd get a shot.
I had the 10-pointer walk up behind me. He came out of the marsh directly behind me. And he moved to the south and went downwind. I almost had the sight on him when he winded me. He was directly downwind when he took that little jaunt.
He would be sitting there and hear blowing in the distance downwind.
She smelled me and snorted like crazy out here. I think I have another one snorting to the west. Yep.
He'd get out there and nothing would show up day after day after day. And I could feel it, you know, grinding on him. And I told him, I said, Rick, just shoot a deer. Just get one under your belt and you'll feel better about yourself and it'll help you. It'll help you move forward. You know, sometimes you just need a kill, you know? So he went out with that attitude and missed a doe. And that really, really set him back.
That sucks.
He was sending me messages the whole time I was gone in Ohio and Indiana, and you could see that his hunting was weighing on him. He was getting opportunities at bucks. He was just out of range of them. They wouldn't come in range. They kept busting him. I knew what he needed. He needed to get that kill. The public lands around here have just been getting crowded as hell. And he ran into a landowner that just screamed at him, belittled him because he was hunting 40 yards from the guy's border. I told him he should have videotaped the guy and he should have turned him in for harassment because that's illegal.
I was about 40 yards off of private land, and the guy on the private land saw me hunting there and went absolutely berserk on me. So that ruined that hunt, and I was done yesterday. So, a little frustrating.
He had that happen. He set up a stand where he had to go across this river. He had to get way back. And then a guy comes walking through the river, walks underneath him, and climbs up a tree 40 yards behind him and pulls the tree stand down. He just couldn't win. So when I got back, I thought, you know what Rick needs? He needs to go into one of my really good spots where he will certainly have deer go past him. And I'm not too easy going about this because the spot I'm talking about is Dave's farm. And Dave's farm is a little precious to me. Dave only let about one of our group go in there a year. And it was only if they're struggling and only if we're tagged out, and usually towards the end of the year. But I thought this was the exception. Rick's the exception. So I didn't really want to beat up the farm before gun season because that's all I got left in Wisconsin's a gun tag. So I called Rick up. And I hesitated a little bit because I know I take somebody in there, they shoot a deer, or even if they just taint the area up, it's going to be harder for me during gun season. It's going to be better for my neighbors, worse for me. But, you know, sometimes the whole world doesn't revolve around how Dan does. And sometimes it's good to just help a buddy out when they're down. So I called Rick and I said, you really don't want to go hunt by Dave's house, do you? Or Dave's farm, do you? He goes, yeah, I do. Are you sure? Because, you know, he said, yeah, he'd really like to. So I tried to talk him out of it a little bit, but he, you know. So I actually took him to the best spot we got on the farm for rut. There is a little funnel right between all the major big buck bedding areas, and all the does kind of bed in there too. And that just gets wound up and hot during the rut. And we kind of just go in there for 1 or 2 precision hunts a year because you could do some damage to the farm if you go in there and you blow those deer out, because then they just go move on to the neighbors. Neighbors got good bedding. probably better than Dave's. So when we got one little key area, you don't want to burn it out. But I took Rick down there, showed him where I thought he should set up, and said, "You got the reins. It's your farm for one day."
Dan got back from the Public Land Challenge yesterday. We talked last night and asked me if I wanted to hunt on Dave's land this morning. I said I'd be happy to. As you guys know, Dave is the one that passed away. So I feel privileged to be on his land and hunting it. Thank you, Dave. So Dan brought me in. I'm set up in the stand now. Dan told me where they come from, so I just had to doe in. I had the camera on, but I just realized I didn't have the record on. But I did have the record on my Tacticam. Dan set me up this morning at Dan's place, or at Dave's place. Dave, the one that passed away. And I was able to get set up this morning, the 12th day I'm hunting. And I just broadsided a doe. I'm pretty sure I got a good hit. Kind of heard her coughing back here. I'm gonna let her sit for a while, just in case a buck is following. I'm gonna get ready.
Ooh, look at that baby. Nice. I had a rare moment of compassion and gave Ricky-Poo the reins to the farm, and we let him come back here and hunt, and he's in the best funnel we have on this farm. The last 3 times I've hunted this spot, or this area, I've had mature bucks go past me. This is a spot we hold with high regard, and we only sneak in here every now and then, and this has not been hunted until now, this year, because I shot my buck the 5th day of the season, and Dave passed away, so nobody's been back here. So we're gonna go check on Rick and see how he did.
Look, it's a big buck. Serial killer.
Alright, so tell me what happened.
Well, she came from the northeast, came up the trail, tried to get I got the camera on her, turned the camera on, but it didn't, I forgot to hit the record. Anyways, I had the Tacticam record on, 8 yards out here in front of me. I took a shot at her.
So what happened with the camera? Did you press the record too fast or something when you turn it on?
When you know where you gotta wait a couple seconds after you power it on?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think I went right to the record button and didn't make sure it was recording, because I had to get the shot off in the spot that I chose to shoot it. And I think I just hit the record button too quick.
But you got a deer, that's what counts, right?
Yeah, and I got it on a Tacticam, but the shot's always all over the place with the Tacticam.
Alright, so where was the deer? Right in this opening over here or something?
Deer was right here.
Okay, yeah, there's a main trail that goes right through here.
Yeah, 8 yards in front of me.
Is the arrow sticking out of the ground over there?
No, it actually went through her and fell over by that little tree over there.
Ah, okay. So it kind of stayed in there a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. You've been working hard at getting a deer.
Yes.
It's been a little harder than what it should be.
12 days straight.
Yeah. So hopefully there's a pot of venison at the end of the rainbow.
I'm hoping. I mean, I slowed down the video from the Tacticam, and there's a brown spot right where it should be. I couldn't actually slow it down enough to see if the arrow hit there. Brown spot where I.
Well, let's start with looking at the blood on the arrow and look at what the arrow smells like, see if there's guts on it, that kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
Where was it standing now? Right here?
It was right here.
Looks like it was right here. I saw the leaves kicked from the impact. So you always want to look over here and see if there's any hair blowout or anything. So step back a second. So you can kind of see she was standing right here. Where's your stand? This is there. Yeah, this is probably a perfect shot. So I see nothing. I see no hair blowout. Interesting. You can see where the feet kicked though. Okay, so then she went this way. Go ahead and follow her. See if you can pick up any blood along the way. She ran that way?
She ran this way.
Okay.
And here's the arrow.
Alright, alright. You lit knock?
Yep.
You couldn't see the impact? Don't smell like guts. Here, film this. I think it's recording.
The red dot is record, right? On
Yep.
top?
It don't smell like guts, it smells like just blood. And it looks like good blood. It's dried, so it's kind of hard to tell how bright it was, but there's a little bit of grit to it, but I can't tell for sure. Let's track her a little bit and see what we got. I can see blood spray here. We'll just leave this right here. Okay. So if you want to follow that blood trail, you see it all right? See the blood there? Right here. Which way did she run?
She ran that way.
Down this trail here?
Yeah, run down this trail here. And curve back.
Yep, that's a trail that goes right to a bedding area, so. Red leaves and blood, they really mix together good, don't they? Alright, so you got blood here, right?
Right, I'm trying to find the next spot.
It should be every time she lands, there should be a little bit of blood. So I would suggest right through here, this is kind of where the trail is. So we've gone about 30 yards and there is no blood on this deer trail. So I don't know what's going on. He heard it cough right in here in this little bedding area, and we're going to creep up there and see what we got. He's relatively sure he was forward on the hit, so we'll see what we got, but I ain't got no blood in here anywhere where he saw it going. There was some blood at the scene of the hit where the arrow came out, but you can kind of see where it was running, but not even a speck. of blood. Yeah, here's a running track right here. You never know, though, rut, it could be just a doe being chased, but we're right in the vicinity of where he saw it last, so. This little thick area here is where they usually bed down, so we'll see if she's laying in there.
Which fit here?
Okay.
Might have been where it coughed.
Hold on.
It's dry. Do you think that's liver blood?
I don't know. It's bleeding pretty good right here if it was running.
Still bleeding.
Yeah, it's bleeding pretty good now. Rick, come here once. See this here? See how thick and frothy that is?
Yeah.
That's lung blood.
Okay.
So you at least got one lung, and if it was broadside, you probably got them both. So it's probably just a head, I'm hoping.
This is where it coughed.
Yeah, it's coughing up lung blood. If you got both lungs, it should have went down by now. That's a lot of blood.
There she is.
Where? Oh, look at that. A little happier now?
Yeah. Finally got some meat for the table.
Let's go see her. See what you got.
That's right where I saw the dark spot on the.
Yeah, tough
Yeah.
dough to get it shot through the lungs and yet make it this far. This is quite the trip here.
See.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Yeah, it's right where it needs to be.
Yeah, she went far for that.
Well, dude, you finally did it. You happy?
Yeah, it took a while, but
Yeah, this is a special spot, a special place.
it is.
We literally have not taken a doe off this property in 10 years.
Wow.
But there's a real low deer density and it's just finally starting to pick up. And decided we could take a couple. A couple of these big
Probably
mature ones.
Brought her by me.
This is good because I wanted to see you get something. I really thought you'd get a buck there. That's a really good area. The bucks run that draw a lot during rut.
I looked way behind her and I saw nothing. I mean, not to say he could have been out of sight.
Well, if she didn't turn around and run back the way she was, and if he was out of sight, he should have still came.
Yeah.
So there probably was none with her. She's probably already been bred.
Probably.
Yeah, so, I mean, good job. The one thing, if I can criticize you for a second, and only in the purpose of learning, is you didn't have a good direction to travel. You threw us off on tracking about which side of the tree she went and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not criticizing you. I'm just making a point of how critical it is to really concentrate on exactly where they're running, because this thing didn't bleed until it got out about 50, 60 yards, and the leaves are orange and red.
Right.
So it's really hard to see the blood, and it was dried by the time we came out here to track. So if there's a lesson for our viewers, it's really to concentrate on exactly where they run, so that you got a last point you see it, because I was looking wrong direction. I had dire hopes where we were going.
Right.
I mean, because we didn't find much blood at all past the arrow
Right.
for about 75 yards. And I had looked in the direction that she came, but I didn't get quite over to where the trail was where she was. So I might have already had it in my head that we searched over there. But regardless.
I knew we didn't, and that's why.
Yeah, and you did, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a good point for people to really concentrate on where they run to. But I'm so happy for you. Now you got some venison in the freezer.
Yeah.
Now you be a little more laid back, and hopefully in the next week or so you can get that buck.
I ain't laying back.
I know you're not. How many days in a row have you hunted now?
12.
12, yeah. But I really want to see you get a deer, and I'm glad you did. This is cool. And
Thank you.
everybody's been off on road trips, and you've been here by yourself. And I get back just in time to help you drag one out.
I've been hunting with Mario.
Oh, a little bit, eh? Okay.
Yeah, we went out west a couple days.
Very cool, though. Let's get some pictures, and then I got the sled up the hill. We'll get the sled and drag her out. And
Sweet.
very nice, dude.
Well, I
Got it.
brought you along so you got it for me, right?
Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I'm the gut boy. That's what it's come down to.
Gut boy.
Yeah. I can take it. I dish it out, right?
Oh yeah. You sure do.
I'm good at
You
that.
might cut this out.
I might just remove it so that every time you say something funny, I remove it. I leave in the funny stuff I say. No, I would never do something like that.
Well, like 75% of the time you cut them out.
Very cool, dude. So, pretty exciting? You feel good about the shot and all that? And
I do. It was.
did she spot you at all?
She didn't.
Did you have to stand up to get the shot? And
No, I had to do it while I was sitting down.
yeah, it's hard to sit and they spot you a lot there. She probably caught you off guard and you had to shoot from a sitting position because you couldn't stand up.
Correct.
Yeah, they come in quiet, especially in the morning. Those leaves are quiet.
She did surprise me because I was concentrating on another area than I thought.
I kind of expected them to come from the complete opposite direction from the fields because the corn has just been cut over there and there's corn on the ground.
Oh,
So I expect them to come in from that way.
They
But
could
you're
really
right
come
in
in.
the middle of all the bedding areas. So that's a really good spot. That spot really, I mean, just go in there, like once or twice a year, and literally the last 3 times that spot's been hunted has produced trophy bucks each time.
I really wanted to get a buck, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But she was alone. I didn't see
Yep.
anything behind.
And you wanted a deer, and you got your deer. Now let's get a buck.
Damn straight.
How's that go? Let's go get that buck. Say
That's
it.
how you see it.
Say
Let's
it.
go get that buck.
All right. Now you'll get one. See, that's cool. That's a nice adult doe. It's a good specimen to take. She's nice and mature. That's a big animal.
Yeah, she's not bad.
Yeah,
I think I've only gotten one bigger in my life than this.
it's a good doe, dude. Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm happy too.
Cool. The struggle is real, and Rick was really getting frustrated and struggling, and I could just see that look in his eyes like he was going to give up. And really, your mind is the most powerful thing you got. If you give up, it's over. You won't do anything. I think he needed this. I wouldn't doubt it if he turns around now and shoots a big buck. A lot of people might not realize this, but I'm a big fan of Rick's. I like the underdog who's struggling, and I want to see him have success. And I know it's just a doe, but you've never seen a happier guy. That smile's been on his face since we found it. This is cool. He's had like a 2-year struggle now. And he's watching everybody else succeed. I'm really happy for him. This is Dave's clover plot here. That's Dave's tree, stands right there. This tree line here, there's a whole bunch of bedding areas that all come together in one spot right down here in the hub. And that's where we put Rick this morning. And it's a spot we only go into like once a year or so. We keep it pristine. And the last 3 sits in there have produced giant bucks. Not every one of them was a kill, but they've gone by. Dave was pretty tight about letting people come back here, but every year he would let like one of our group come back, especially if he's tagged out, and especially if the person was having a struggle. Rick was having a struggle this year. He was really getting frustrated with himself. He couldn't even kill a doe, and I just decided that this would be the guy that Dave gives a chance to. I stopped here this morning and told Dave my plans, and I would think he's okay with it, because he's tagged out from now on, right? This is where Dave's final place is. I spread his ashes right here. Here's his stand. Well, Dave, I hope you're happy with Rick getting that doe. It really meant a lot to him. It looks like you got some energy back. Got a smile back?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Sometimes you just got to kill one, especially if you haven't had one in a while.
Right.
You get a dry spell, you just got to kill one.
Yes. I agree 100%.
Full sled, dude. That's a full sled. Hunt out of a bee stand. Don't wee-wee on your boot.